Just try to imagine, God forbid that every state go by itself. It's not going to happen. Mississippi will be suffering, a state like whatever state will be suffering, a state like California is flourishing. We get together and become stronger. We see it very visible. We read it in the Quran as well. Allah Azza wa Jalla قال يا أيها الذين آمنوا, O you who believe, اتقوا الله حق تقاته. Fear Allah, have taqwa, and be conscious of Allah as you should be. ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Do not die except as Muslims. Die in the state of Islam. What do you expect? We all know what's coming next. But what do you expect Allah will say next to that, after that? Be conscious, do not die except as Muslim. You might talk about, do your prayer constantly, he might say, do the zakah, he might say, anything of the main things of Islam. He didn't say any of these. He said, here's Allah, worship Him, die in His way, Islam, and what comes after that is what? The ayah next to that is what? وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ. Hold firm to the robe of Allah, all of you together. And then Allah would remind Muslims, see how you wear? I'm just roughly translating the ayah. See how you wear before Islam? عَلَى شَفَى حُفْرَةٍ مِنَ النَّارِ. You were almost like lost, getting to fire. You were in fight with one another. And what happened is Allah got you together. Allah got immigrants, Muhajirin, Ansar together. Allah got even Al-Ansar. Al-Ansar, they were completely divided, torn into Al-Aws and Al-Khazraj, tribes of Medina, who become allies. And they will become one of the main strength and powers of Islam. They were at war with one another, with each other for so many decades before that. Islam come to end war. And here is the evidence in there. People were at war, Islam stopped, he united them. They love one another. They become one entity in Islam, and they end a few decades, several decades of war. Some malamih, features of this brotherhood of Islam. It's not that you like somebody, he becomes your brother. It's not that it is based on manhaj of Islam. And it has some features in there. And believe it or not, لا تنقطع أخوة الإسلام حتى ولو كان الناس يتحاربون مع بعضهم. Even at the case of fighting against one another, they happen to be both Muslims, they are still brothers. That's what Allah said in the Quran. Allah said, وَإِن طَائِفَتَانِ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ اقْتَتَلُوا. If two groups of Muslims are fighting, then a third group of Muslims, wise group of Muslims, should try to get them together. فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ. Make peace, reconcile between both of your brothers. You're talking about two parties that are اقتتلوا, in fighting one another. Allah called them أخويكم. Both of them are your brothers. Things will happen in life. We are supposed to do like the early generation of us did, becoming Muslims and ending all war and ending all of that and becoming just one entity for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What do we get when we become true brothers for one another? We gain many things. One of them, and one of the most important things that we gain when we achieve brotherhood, is the love of Allah. The love of Allah. Allah would love us in many hadith. One hadith, a person, Abu Muslim al-Khawlani, he saw Mu'adh ibn Jabal, a young person sitting in the Masjid of Dimashq, and everybody cannot make any decision. They have to come back to him, even though he was young and he came to him and he said, you know what? I love you for the sake of Allah. He said, Allah? By Allah you do that? He said, yes. He said, Allah 3 times. And he said, yes. He said, I'm saying that because Allah, the Prophet ﷺ said, Allah Azza wa Jalla says, وَجَبَتْ مَحَبَّتِي لِلْمُتَحَبِّينَ فِيَّ. My love, Allah is saying subhanahu wa ta'ala, my love is due, is a must for those who love one another for my sake. وَالْمُتَجَالِسِينَ فِيَّ. Those who sit with one another for my sake. People sit with one another, have sessions for so many reasons, as many reasons as you can imagine. But when they decide to get together, sit together, meet together for the sake of Allah, Allah said, my love will be due to them, for them. وَالْمُتَزَاوِرِينَ فِيَّ. Those who exchange visits, they visit one another for what? For my sake. My love is due to them. وَالْمُتَبَادِلِينَ فِيَّ. Those who spend in one another for my sake. Somebody's in need for help, you support him. I can help him. I support my brother. That brings about the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what do you get when you gain the love of Allah? If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves somebody, we all know the hadith. He will call him Jibreel, Ya Jibreel, come on. I love such and such. you love him. Jibreel will automatically love him. Jibreel will call the people of As-Sama, the angels. Allah loves such and such. You love him. Jibreel loves him. All the angels of As-Samawat will love him. ثم توضع له المحبة والقبول في الأرض. And then after that, acceptance, love will be put for that person on earth. So if you love your Muslim brother, you gain Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala love. And if you gain Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's love, Jibreel will love you, angels will love you, everybody will love you. You love your brother, it's like a circle that is like an equation that always brings about love. Love others, love your Muslim brother. Allah will love you, angels will love you, other people would love you by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We get that and we get so many things that as an outcome for our love and our unity as Muslims, inshaAllah ta'ala. So let's practice that, inshaAllah azza wa jalla. Let's revive that and let's live by it and let's eliminate and push away anything that تعكر صفو هذه الأخوة, that could interrupt, disturb this kind of relationship, inshaAllah. Barakallahu feekum wa jazakumullah.